In the very beginning there was nothing but darkness, but God had a wonderful plan. On the first day God said, "Let there be light," and just like that, light appeared, bright and good. God separated the light from the darkness. He called the light day, and the darkness night. This was the very first day. The world was starting to take shape, a brand new place waiting for more of God's amazing work. It was the start of everything we know, a time of pure creation and wonder, all from a single powerful command. On the second day, God looked at the waters that were everywhere. He said, "Let there be a space to separate the waters." So, God made the sky. The beautiful big sky stretched out high above, separating the water on the earth from the water in the clouds. This new space made the world feel bigger and more organized. It was a giant blue blanket covering the new world. God saw that it was good. He was carefully building a home, piece by piece, with great love and a clear vision for what was to come next. The third day was a busy day for God. He gathered all the water on the earth into one place, and dry ground appeared. God called the dry ground land and the gathered waters seas. But the land was empty. So God said, "Let the land sprout with plants." Suddenly green grass, colorful flowers, and tall trees with fruit grew all over the land. The world was no longer just brown and blue, it was filled with life and color. Every plant had seeds, so it could make more plants, a beautiful and continuous cycle. On the fourth day, God looked up at the sky he had made. He decided it needed some special lights. So God made two great lights. He made the bigger light, the sun, to rule the day and give warmth. He made the smaller light, the moon, to shine gently at night. God also scattered tiny twinkling stars all across the dark night sky. These lights were not just for beauty, they were also for signs to mark the seasons, days, and years. Now, time itself could be measured in the new world. On the fifth day God filled the seas and the sky with living creatures. He said, "Let the water be filled with fish, and let birds fly in the sky." And so it was. Big whales and tiny fish swam in the oceans, rivers, and lakes. In the air, birds of all kinds soared and sang their happy songs. God blessed them and told them to have many babies and fill the earth. The world was now alive with a flurry of movement and sound. From the deepest parts of the sea to the highest reaches of the sky. Then came the sixth day, a very special day. God turned his attention back to the dry land. He said, "Let the land have living creatures of all kinds." And so animals began to appear. There were farm animals like cows and sheep, and wild animals like lions and bears. Tiny insects crawled on the ground. God saw all the animals he had made, and he saw that it was good. The world was now teeming with a rich variety of life, each creature unique and perfectly suited for its home, contributing to the planet's vibrant ecosystem. After making all the animals, God did his most special work. He said, "Let us make people in our own image." So God took some dust from the ground. He carefully shaped it into a man. Then God breathed the breath of life into the man's nostrils, and the man became a living person. God named him Adam. Adam was different from all the animals because he was made to be like God, to think and to love. He was the first human, a unique creation with a special purpose in God's brand new world. God saw that Adam was alone. God said, "It is not good for the man to be by himself. I will make a helper who is just right for him." So God made Adam fall into a deep sleep. While Adam was sleeping, God took one of his ribs. From that rib, God made a woman. When Adam woke up, he saw the woman and was very happy. He said, "She is part of me." Adam named her Eve. Now there were two people, a man and a woman, ready to live in the beautiful world God had made for them. God had prepared a perfect home for Adam and Eve. It was a beautiful garden called the Garden of Eden. The garden was filled with everything good. Crystal clear rivers flowed through it, watering all the plants. The trees were heavy with delicious fruits of every kind. The flowers were bright and smelled sweet. It was a place of peace and beauty where everything was in perfect harmony. Adam and Eve did not have to worry about anything. They had everything they could ever need, provided for them with great love and care by their Creator. In the Garden of Eden, life was wonderful. Adam and Eve's job was to take care of the garden and all the animals. They walked with God in the cool of the evening, talking to him like a friend. There was no sadness, no pain, and no fear. The animals were all friendly and nothing ever hurt them. Adam and Eve were happy and felt completely safe. Their days were filled with joy, discovery, and a close relationship with God, living in the paradise he had made just for them, a world without any flaws or troubles. God gave Adam and Eve freedom to enjoy the entire garden. He told them, "You may eat the fruit from any tree in the garden." There were so many choices, with sweet and tasty fruits everywhere they looked. This was a gift from God, showing his generosity and his desire for them to be happy and satisfied. They had permission to enjoy all the good things he had created. It was a rule of abundance, not of restriction, highlighting the trust and freedom that defined their existence in this perfect place. However, God gave them one single rule. In the middle of the garden, there were two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God said, "You must not eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat from that tree, you will surely die." This was the only thing they were not allowed to do. This one rule was a test of their love and obedience to God. It was a choice they had to make, a way to show they trusted God's plan for them completely. One day a serpent came to Eve in the garden. This serpent was very clever and tricky. It asked Eve, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die." The serpent was planting a small seed of doubt, making Eve question the goodness and honesty of God's clear and simple instruction. The serpent lied to Eve. "You will not die," it hissed. "God knows that when you eat the fruit your eyes will be opened. You will be like God, knowing good and evil." The serpent made the fruit seem very special and desirable. Eve looked at the fruit on the forbidden tree. She saw that it was beautiful and looked delicious. She thought about how wonderful it would be to become wise like God. The temptation was very strong, and she began to believe the serpent's words more than God's loving warning. So, Eve made a terrible choice. She reached out, took a piece of the fruit, and ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, who was with her, and he ate it too. At that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, and they suddenly felt ashamed because they realized they were naked. They quickly sewed fig leaves together to make clothes for themselves. The innocence and peace of the garden were gone, replaced by feelings of fear, guilt, and separation. Their perfect world was broken by one act of disobedience. This story of Adam and Eve is more than just an old tale. It teaches us a very important lesson. It shows us that God gives us the freedom to make choices. Our choices have consequences, and sometimes a wrong choice can lead to sadness and separation from what is good. The story also reminds us of beginnings. It is the beginning of the human story, a story of love, mistakes, and the chance for a new start. It helps us understand why the world has both good and bad things in it, and it points to the importance of listening to and trusting God.